You're watching Oilers Nation every day with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
It is the last Oilers game for 14 days. Cherish it. Hold it tight. Yell at the TV extra hard. Let's get into it with the lead. Welcome into Oilers Nation every day, coming to you live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online, sportscloset.ca. We got a $50 GC we'll give away in a little bit as well. Always fun to kick off a Sherwood Ford Giant game day with that. The show, as always, a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Like I said, Sherwood Ford Giant game day. That means Jay is in the mix and right here in the middle. Final game day for 14 days, boys. How are we feeling?
Yeah, a little annoyed, I guess. Like excited for tonight. A little
Bigger
extra
game.
excitement. Really curious what I'm going to do with myself for the next 2 weeks. Weather isn't cooperating. It's not like I can go outside and just, run amok and have some fun.
A little nicer today than it has been earlier in the week.
It is. I am. I'm hoping to get Crawford on the skis tomorrow. We'll see.
The ski, first time.
First time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My first time skiing was in the Austrian mountains.
Flex.
Yeah, no big deal. Drove 28 hours to get there.
The Austrian mountains.
Opposite of flex.
Yeah.
Opposite of like
The
that.
Austrian Alps is what you
Fire up
should
a
Is that what
PJ,
it- I thought
Liam.
it was the
Don't
Alps.
do them disservice.
No,
Do not do them
it was
disservice.
a school field trip from Manchester, England to Kitzbühel.
That was a school trip?
Yeah,
They stuck you kids on a bus for 20 hours?
Ever heard
28.
of a plane school?
No need. £500 for a week. Pretty good deal, actually.
Oh, currency.
Well, and you were young, so a 28-hour bus trip would have been awesome.
I actually don't really remember it all. We went through obviously England, France, Germany. We passed by the Allianz Arena, as where Bayern Munich play, into Austria. 28 hours. I don't really remember the bus trip that much.
Don't remember what you did to pass the time?
Probably slept. It was 28 hours.
I joined
It's a double decker.
I joined the cross-country running team at S. Bruce Smith Junior High. Go Scorpions. And for the sole reason of they were going to Spokane for Bloomsday.
Okay.
I had never been to the States in my life, so this to me was like going to the moon.
Your first visit to the
First visit to the States was to Spokane, Washington.
Lovely.
And it was like a 14-hour bus ride, and that was the bomb. The bomb. And we also went with another school.
So did we.
So there were
Yeah.
kids you didn't know.
It was interesting. There were some interesting dynamics that worked out,
Mm-hmm.
like it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's all right.
Shut up, Bloomsday.
What's your longest trip?
My longest bus trip?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a hockey tournament we went to Prince Albert, so that's not that long. That's what that's
6 hours.
6 hours. But the parents like doing bus trips, I think, because they'd get loaded.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then no one had to drive. So
Yeah,
the parents on the front of the bus would just get hammered.
Great
And
for parents.
yeah, it's tremendous for parents.
I
So.
remember I went to Prince Albert once for a hockey game to the Art Hauser Arena.
Oh, yeah.
And totally forgot about the time difference. Was late for the game. Nightmare.
They don't observe daylight savings
No.
in the central, my friend.
It was brutal. I couldn't believe it. And I was even reminded earlier in the week and I forgot. Tough one.
Rats. I've done a 36-hour drive.
Damn. Bragger.
Just a road trip?
Dallas to Edmonton.
Whoa.
Why did you do that?
Long story, but
It sounds like a long one.
I was
36
muling.
hours worth.
it was a one and done.
Ah, one and done.
It
Well,
was a one and done of dogs. I was muling 2 animals.
oh my God. Well, we're going to stop that. Like I said, Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show. We're going to get things right back on track here. And let me once again tell you about the Nation Valet service over at Sherwood Ford. It is very simple. If your vehicle needs routine maintenance, like an oil change or anything like that, call Sherwood Ford the Giant or go to sherwoodford.ca. Make an appointment with the service center and say you want the Nation Valet service. It is free to use. They will come pick up your vehicle, drive it to the dealership, do the work, turn around, and drive it right on back to you. And not only are you going to get yourself an exclusive Nation package when you use the valet service, but this month you are going to be entered in to potentially win a trip on the Nation vacation coming up at the end of March. It's only valid for this month. So if you want to come on the Nation vacation, you can still go to nationgear.ca and get in on the trip, or you can use the Nation Valet service. It is the definition of a win-win. You get the free valet service, and you get entered into the draw to come on the Nation vacation. Shout out to our friends over at Sherwood Ford the Giant.
And your car truck gets the much needed love it
Yeah.
deserves.
It's great.
Love your car. Love your vehicle.
Love yourself.
Yeah. It's self-care for everyone.
Yeah.
You get to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's self-care.
Yeah.
Kind of.
100%.
Initially it is. After the fact it is not.
Yeah.
Self-care on the
You
skin.
need more self-care after Vegas, but it's a self-care flywheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, boys. Let's first off, I'm loving the 2-0 start this week from the Edmonton Oilers. 2 overtime wins, but wins are wins.
Well, 3-0 or bust. That's
And
what
you had
keep
said that
saying.
earlier.
Yeah.
I said, listen, if you were to go 2-1, you're probably happy with it.
Yeah, well, now you're setting the stage to be like, yeah, I'm happy. We got to win tonight.
Yeah, you're right. This is the game that I had scheduled as sort of the must win, although it is the most likely to lose, I suppose, when you consider who the opponent is. This one's a must win. I think you want to kind of show some dominance, and this is an Avs team that, looks a lot different than the last time we obviously played them. They made the big Mikko Rantanen trade.
No Wedgie Wood.
No Scott Wedgwood, which is also very interesting. We'll have more on that in a second, but just kind of an overarching question about the Avs. No Mikko Rantanen. They make the trade. They bring in Martin Necas. They
Arguably an upgrade.
On who?
Buddy, he's been hot.
He's been hot.
Yeah, but he's not better than Mikko Rantanen. I think it's very good.
How's Rantanen doing in Carolina
Well,
right
he's
now?
playing less. So I
can't
think
judge
that's
a deal off
big
2
difference
weeks
thing. I think
or a
they're just
week.
very
Hey, you
different
guys
styles.
love cherry picking sample size. At the moment, yes.
He's a good
What?
player.
At
He's a
the
very good
moment,
player.
Necas is a better fit in Colorado than Rantanen is in Carolina. You can't argue that right now.
I think it's just different styles. Like I think in Colorado they run their superstars heavy, and I think in Carolina they're just more of a balanced team, and I think that's a big difference. But you're right, Nature's has been very good.
Let's say they were both UFAs and the Oilers had cap space for one. Which one are you signing?
Right
Mikko
now,
Rantanen.
Necas. Because he's cheaper.
Okay, no, right across the board, dead same money. Which one are you picking?
Dead same money.
Yeah, let's say they're both free agents and they both say we will sign in Edmonton for $12 million. Which one would you sign?
Yeah, I'd sign the big Finn to play with.
There you
the
go.
two guys.
We know who the better player is.
Well, we don't actually.
Are you more-
This is still recency bias judging into this.
Are you
decision.
more or less scared?
Necas is lighting the world on fire.
Jay, he's playing good, but let's not pretend like this
Look at his
is.
production since he joined the team.
8 points in 7 games.
Is that good?
-1.
Well, what's Connor doing? 7 games.
3 goals, and I think out of his 5 assists, I think 3 of them are second assists. 2 of his points came on the power play.
He had a 3-point game yesterday. That was a big one for him.
Yeah, that'll look.
So power play points don't
So
count?
before that 3-point game, he wasn't even a point per game player.
5 points in 6 games.
Yeah.
He's done well. He's obviously a threat. He's a very good player.
Well, it just shows what actually Colorado did. It wasn't as crazy as we thought, is what I'm saying, and it gives them room to do something at the deadline. I'm very fascinated by this trade, and I've been watching it kind of outside of Chicago. Who cares about how they're impacted by this? But watching those two teams and how those players are performing.
Also, I'll push back a little bit on the idea that the Avs now have the ability to do something crazy at the deadline because they did not get future assets in this deal. They got Necas. They freed up a little bit of cap space, but they're an LTIR. They can afford a $3.9 million cap hit, and they don't have a first-round pick in the upcoming draft. Also don't have a third-rounder in the upcoming draft. Also have a pretty much about as bad of a prospect pool as the Oilers do. So the idea that the Avs are going to snap their fingers and go get some elite player ahead of the dedeadline, I don't think that's true.
I still just
They
don't
have
know who it
flexibility.
is.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but it's an interesting trade, and it's also interesting, what they can do for next year.
There is talk about Brock Nelson being an option for them, and now it sounds like Brock Nelson just wants to stay in New York.
What? Why?
Apparently, yeah.
Because that's what the Islanders do. They sign their 34-year-old players to 8-year deals. So dumb.
We'll get into that with the rumor mill in a little bit. First, let's go out to the YouTube chat for our friends at Odd Company Brewing and the all-new Nation Beer Everyday Lager, a crisp, clean lager crafted not just for game day, but for every day. And tonight, like I said, last game day for 14 days. Kick your feet up. It's a Friday, 7 p.m. puck drop. That is come on. Kick your feet up, crack an ice cold Nation beer.
Yeah, it's
is
really enjoy this one.
That is a tailor-made night to have a couple of Nation beers on the couch.
Couple?
Handful?
They come in packs of
Bushel?
4.
They do come in packs of 4, Liam. Duran is in with a super chat. Always love when he pops in and makes a nice donation to the Ben Stelter Foundation. He says, I'm much more excited for this break than I was last year. I think we could use the break, get everyone healthy, get on a heater after. Also, I hit an 11-leg parlay, so I'm feeling it. LFG, Cup year.
Wow.
Duran, do what I did when I hit my big bet. Roll it over into an Oilers Cup future.
Yeah.
11 legs. That's impressive.
Like,
A lot of things need to go right there.
Well,
11,
Duran,
some would say.
Duran, I'm curious to know, was this like 11 minus 110 bets and stuff, or was this, because if that's the case,
Even still.
you're a millionaire. Yeah, I mean, or is it an 11-legger like minus 250s? Curious. I want to know more. I like knowing
You
about it.
mentioned it yesterday. I can't remember what he said. We'll
Oh,
find
he said
out.
it yesterday. All
Yeah,
right,
he
well,
actually put in a super chat. We forgot to read it.
Oh, sorry, Duran. That's our bad. All right, boys. Short 4 Giant Game Day edition of the show. Like I said, let's get into some game notes for tonight's hockey game, brought to you by, hey, speaking of $1 million, the Service Big Share contest is back, and it is in full swing. It is your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Anyone can enter by becoming a member and saving with Service. Every $500 you save saves you 5 entries into the Service Big Share contest. It ends on April 30th, 2025. Skill test required. For rules and more info, go to service.ca/win. He says it was an 11-leg over-under shot prop. He bet $2. But still, that right there, Duran,
Yeah, but
that's gotta
paying-
be-
That's paying high dividends.
gotta be a-
Shot prop is a tough one, too.
that's got to be a couple thousand, you'd think. Probably. Anyways, congrats, Duran. No, like $2 into $1,000 probably is what I'm thinking. 11 shot props? That's insane.
11.
Okay, game notes. You mentioned no Scott Wedgwood. It is Mackenzie Blackwood playing the second of back-to-backs.
Oh,
He was
There is a chance it could be the other fella.
well, it could be. They did call up Trent Miner.
Such an informed person.
Why? Why? What did you said earlier that it's Blackwood tonight, didn't you? Or you said no Wedgwood.
No, I'm confused now.
I thought you said no Wedgwood.
Mackenzie Blackwood is likely going to play.
Okay, and Wedgwood is
Injured.
Okay.
So Blackwood is going to get
All right.
likely both legs of a back-to-back.
Too much wood.
That's fair.
A lot of wood.
He's played 6 in a row for the Avs and 8 of 9. I agree with you, Liam. They have Trent Miner called up from the minors. They could start him if they wanted to, but I don't know. It's. I mean, yeah, I'm all for it. But going into the
tired.
break, I don't know.
Blackwood's looking forward to the break. He's thinking about the break. He has got his ticket booked to Cabo, and that's all he's thinking about.
He should have his ticket booked to Montreal and Boston. Should be on this team.
I saw a poll about who would you start,
should start?
and
I
it's
saw
like
that too.
Binnington, awful numbers. Aiden Hill in a brutal slump as well. Montembeault has the best numbers of the trio, but hasn't even been the starter on his
Who
team
would
for
you
a bit.
start?
I would go Binnington game 1.
I think I would go Hill.
Yeah, I think he'll.
I think they will go Hill. Cause
You'd feel way better if Logan Thompson was on this team.
Well,
did you hear that
that's not an
speculation too? Bruce Cassidy and Peter DeBoer didn't want Logan Thompson on the team because they didn't want the drama that comes with him, they said.
Oh, God. Ask the Caps if there's drama that comes with
Well, they
Logan
both
Thompson.
coached him in Vegas.
Yeah,
Well, isn't Bruce Cassidy the drama?
maybe.
You can make the argument.
Well, talk to people in his wake over the years.
Colorado's newly formed top line are Arturi Lehkonen, Nathan McKinnon, and Martin H.S.J. It is working very well so far. With that trio on the ice at even strength, they have outshot the other team 50-25 in 59 minutes, and they've outscored them 4-0. Basically, a goal every 15 minutes at 5v5. Very impressive stuff. I do think, again...
It's the McKinnon factor. Like, it's not all just Natchez here. You put a good skill player with McKinnon,
It's going to work.
Get crazy. It's going to work.
Yeah.
I know it's circumstantial.
Again, I do think if you want to try justify the trade, it's because if you're saving potentially $8 million against the cap next year, going from Rantanen to Natchez, you're going, hey, we would move Rantanen away from McKinnon. It wouldn't work all that well. He's a great player, top 10 player in the NHL. I'm not trying to take anything away from the type of player that Mikko Rantanen is, but it's like if we could save $8 million, we have Natchez. We're not going to lose any production because anyone can be productive with Nate Dogg. Now we've given ourselves some money. I think it's more so in the summer than right now because of the LTIR complications, but the flexibility is interesting.
Like $8 million is a lot. A lot.
The since Natchez came over, the Avalanche have played one playoff team, and it was
here we
last
go.
night against the Calgary Flames.
Setting it all up here, yeah.
I'm just saying they have. It's just a fact. And facts are stats.
Okay, well then Stuart Skinner's a terrible goalie.
He has been against top teams, I would agree. That's why they need him big time tonight. Got to be a good start for the Oilers.
Yeah.
And Stu specifically.
7 p.m. puck drop tonight. We're going to be joined by Jason Demers in a little bit as well. Going to go around the NHL with him. Do we want to do? Let's do a little rumor mill, actually. I don't mind this because there's a couple of things percolating around the league that I find to be a little interesting. It is for our friends at Greta, our go-to party spot in downtown Edmonton. Arcade, bar, street food, pregame, postgame, during the game. Their TV setup is absolutely elite. It is electric. It is, again, if you want to enjoy the final game day before this big long break, a Friday night downtown at Greta, intermission entertainment with the arcade.
Go watch the game.
Not bad. Watch the game as well. Shout out to our friends at Greta. Also, a reminder that we are doing a watch party for Canada USA next weekend. You can get in now, nationgear.ca. Get your tickets. We got a VIP bundle on top of that. So, again, go enjoy the game next Saturday. There's the info right there. Tickets $10, all in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation as well. So it's going to a good cause. It's our Canada USA watch along presented by Fountain Tire out with our party spot downtown Edmonton and Greta.
If this event sells out, I'll sing the Canadian national anthem for everyone before the game.
Please buy tickets.
Wow.
Please
Clip
buy
that,
tickets.
please, and let's blast that on social every 5 minutes.
And then we will send that along with my paperwork to Trudeau, and we'll get my citizenship.
Hey,
Wow,
that's a good plan.
political.
2 for 1. It's not political. I'm just trying to get by.
You know, it'd be a great intermission game. Liam asks people citizenship questions.
That's actually funny. That is actually funny.
If I can, maybe they ask, like someone asks me and a Canadian citizen, and we see who gets it right.
I don't hate that.
Yeah,
There
okay.
you go.
Yeah, who's more Canadian?
Yeah, probably them. Hopefully,
Oh,
All right.
and
see.
I'll get this.
One quick rumor mill question, and then I see Jason Demers is here. Frank today says Kyle Palmieri could be a fit for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm out because I think his visor's too big. There was a point this year where his visor went all the way down to his chin. I don't want those vibes. Also,
I am in if he brings his beard back. This is
Okay.
an aluless world.
He'd be allowed to.
So bring that beard back because Palmieri the beard looks fierce without it. I'm like,
short visor and beard, I'm in. Liam?
He's a right winger, right?
Yeah, he can score. He's not that good defensively. He's been on the penalty kill. Their penalty kill sucks. I don't
really
think
making a
he's
strong case.
I don't think he's what they need.
Because
I'm
he's
out.
missing his beard, Tyler.
Okay.
That penalty kill is better than last season. It was 32 last year. It's 31 this year. I'm out. I just don't think he's worth the
Yeah,
assets.
$5 million.
If
You'd
the
have to
Oilers
eat half.
needed, I just don't see it.
Spend your money on a defenseman, not on Kyle Palmieri. All right. On that note, let's get out to the Star Mechanical guest line. Edmonton's.
That's the rumor. We're gonna talk rumors with JD.
Yeah, we'll talk to. Oh, we got a couple of rumors to throw JD's way.
Love it.
Let's get to our friend Jason Demers on the Star Mechanical guest line. Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more information about them online at starmechanical.ca. Jason Demers, NHL Network analyst and co-host of the Unscripted podcast with Adnan Verk. JD, what's going on? How you doing?
Oilers are winning. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to turn this goddamn show off behind me, but what's going on, boys? Edmonton Oilers are doing Edmonton Oilers things. It's great. You don't even need me to give any analysis. There's just ho-hum. It's ho-hum all year.
We're having a technical issue where the audience can hear you, but we can't. So everyone is getting your. It's on our end, JD. So you don't need to worry about it at all. The audience is hearing you. We can't hear you.
hear
So
me?
I'm just going to go ahead and blindly ask you my first question, and it's about the hate that Connor Bedard seems to be getting. I will zero in on the Oilers in a bit, but this Bedard thing's kind of dominated the headlines over the last couple of days here. People are saying the media is unfair to him, whatever. I think we've gone through this with every young superstar. McDavid got it. Crosby got it. The first few years, if you're that generational talent, you're going to get ripped for not being good defensively, and then he'll grow into it. What do you make of Bedard? Headlines over the last
Yeah, he's just not really. He's making too many mistakes, and the bad habits are creeping in. And I just think people aren't. Fans always want to rebuild and let's get the top pick, and you're like, hey, it's fine. But I'm like, when you do down to the studs like this bad, like this big of a rebuild, it always just you end up stunting these guys a couple years, and they learn how to lose, and then they get frustrated, and it sucks to lose this much as much as these Blackhawks are losing. So I don't love it. I've watched his game. He cheats all over the place, and yeah, it's fine to cheat when you're on a good team, but when you're on this bad team, you have to kind of at least put in the pieces. Now, where I think Biz was wrong is he's kind of showing, these clips of Bedard trying to deke at the blue line. And I understand Bedard's not going to chip and chase it. That's never been his game. So it's just more him understanding at what moment of the game he's at. Like, if you're going to make those dangles, those dekes, it's like you can't do it at that moment of the game. Now, you can't tell him to not do it because that's what makes him Connor Bedard. It's just, I think it's such a fine line, but I just put it more in the organization in terms of, you have a team that's just struggling and they can't find wins. And I don't know if the coaching change I thought it was good at the start. I don't know if it's really translated as well because you see a lot of the same issues with this team. So it's more just him getting out of his own head. And also, I think the media is going to harp on him because he's in a big market and they're really going to go. Every mistake looks bigger now because now that Messier's on him, Biz is on him. And I'm like, it's so tough to get away. So now every single analyst, every single stats guy, every single fan is just watching Bedard now for every mistake. And that's just going to be detrimental to him because I think even though he says he doesn't watch it, doesn't listen, you can hear the noise a little bit. So it was like what happened last year where Foligno had to come out and be like, just leave the kid alone. Like just stop. Like, he's not going to come out and turn this franchise around overnight. They need a lot more pieces. And honestly, I thought this when he came into the league, everybody thought he was going to be a McDavid or a McKinnon. I don't think that's his archetype. I think he's a great hockey player. He's going to be very good. He's going to get, a point a game, maybe surpass that every year. But I just don't think he's that line driver that people think he is. And it's not an indictment on anything in his game. I think he's a great player. He's going to be a good player. But I just don't think he's at that level of McKinnon, McDavid right now. And I don't know if he's going to be able to touch that ceiling because those guys are, if you start comparing Bedard to McDavid and McKinnon, you're always going to be disappointed. So I think they have to really stay away from him a bit, let him kind of develop. But, I don't think he's going to be this world beater that people think he is.
Shout out to McHigh and Dry. We can hear you, JD, now, but we had a listener in the comments who was transcribing your answer for us to make sure we didn't miss anything. So that's a good. It's an MVP move.
He can't even read good.
Let's talk a little Oilers here. Jeff Skinner has been a topic for varying reasons so far throughout the season, but they put him next to Leon Draisaitl, and it works well. Do you think this could be maybe a long-term fit between those two?
Well, I think that's the fit they wanted when they brought him in, was Draisaitl. I think they wanted a guy that can play make and also score with Leon. 3 goals in 5 games. He's starting to come alive a little bit, and I think if he's the guy that can, if he finishes with 20 goals this year, goes into the playoffs and starts scoring. I think, we don't know how he is in the playoffs because we've never seen him in the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting once it gets ramped up. But maybe him not ever playing is going to help him because he's not going to know what he's going into, and he's just going to be so excited to go in and play with these guys. So I'm excited. It seems like the patience has worked out, and we kind of said we were frustrated with him at the start of the season because it just didn't fit. But I think with the depth that the Oilers have, they were able to kind of wait it out and see and keep trying him back in and see if it works. And kudos to Jeff Skinner as well to not get frustrated and to stay with it and keep playing. And now he's producing. And if he could stay like this, this Oilers team, just depth is crazy right now this year.
Yeah, the 4 centermen they lined up the other day was honestly pretty incredible. I want to talk to you about John Klingberg as well, a new guy to the team. 3 games in, thrown into the deep end a little bit against Toronto with Matthias Ekholm being out, but what have you seen from him in this sample size?
Well, I turn it to you guys too because, we kind of said when we talked about it, if this works, it's cheap. I didn't love it, but I'm like, if you're not really risking anything, and if it works, it works. And, he's kind of done what he's had to do. And like you said, he's been thrown in the deep water. And, to come in after not playing all year and play, I think he's averaging like between 17 to 18 a night. And that's pretty difficult for a D-man to come in, especially a guy that's a puck mover that has to make good breakout passes, that has to drive offense. Like that's tough to do because that's the hardest part of your game when you're coming back from, in training camp at the start of the season, let alone off an injury. That's the hardest thing to kind of get dialed in is your first pass. Cause it takes a lot of balls to make those plays and go back and get pucks, and it's your timing's off. But I mean, I've liked what I've seen from him so far. I think, again, a pain-free John Klingberg, like he said, I'll take any day because just he's so fluid. He can move the puck, and we talk about depth up front, but they've now kind of put together this, they have an extra 3-4 guys on the back end that can play, that have proven they can play and kind of play some minutes on this back end. So it probably makes the, Bowman and the brain trust there be a little bit more confident with what they have going to the playoffs, especially if John keeps it up and he stays pain-free.
I'm it's only been a few games, but I'm seeing the trajectory there. Obviously, we don't watch Dallas night in and night out when he played for the Stars, but when you did see him, he was I always just confuse him and Miro Heiskanen all the time when watching the game. And I know they're two slightly different players, but that high skill level, and you see little snippets of it, and we've seen it since he's been an Oiler. So I'm still high on Klingberg. That's just a statement.
I am too, but if I'm them, I've said this before, a dream scenario is that he is your 7 on night 1 of the playoffs. And you sit there and go, if someone gets hurt, we got a really damn good 7. But I don't know if I trust him to play top 4 minutes in the playoffs.
We have so much time.
Yeah, that's it. Once it gets real physical, I'm interested to see. But, he's played in the playoffs. He's been on good teams. He could do it. I think, and I think they're a lot more comfortable with it, the way Nursey's playing and the way Nursey's been, where, they're like, hey, this could be a good fit and a good marriage. And it gives Nursey a little bit of responsibility, and also gives Nursey a guy that when he moves the puck to him, he could break the puck out clean. And I think that's good for Nursey because he does like to get up the ice at times. And when when I played with guys that can make a good first pass, you could cheat. And I think it's something that could be good going forward in the playoffs. But yeah, I'd love him as my 7. But listen, if his trajectory keeps going up and he keeps getting more comfortable and he keeps making more plays and he starts, producing at a high level, I mean, I think it's a win-win for Edmonton right now, because at worst case, he's your 7 and somebody gets hurt, you have a guy that's got experience, that's played, and he's going to be healthy, because if he's a 7, he's not going to be playing as much, so his hip's going to be good, and he can just kind of be ready and just jump in when he needs to.
Brings you to maybe some trade targets, some rumors.
Sure. What do you think of Mario Ferraro as a fit in Edmonton?
Oh, I love Mario, but it's a tough one. It's tough because he's been on that team that struggled so much the past 2 years, and I always have a hard time evaluating because his stats haven't been great, and I do think he has a lot he can bring to the table. Now they don't have any retention slots left, so I don't. I think it's a team that you have to eat the money, or you need to make it work in a 3-way trade, like they did with Rantanen. But is that worth it to kind of do that? I'm not sure. I like Mario a lot. I think he could help this team. I just don't know where you would put him other than a depth guy. Because down the left side, I mean, you're not going to take out, Kulak or Nursey for him, even though I do like him. I think he can play, and I don't know if you want to throw him on the right side when you have 3 righties under Buch that are already on the roster. So I don't know if it's a big trade target for them unless somebody's going out, and you have him kind of as him and Klinger are a 7. But, he's a gamer, blocks shots, great on the PK. He works his ass off. He's a great team guy, and he can provide offense at times. So I just don't know if it's a fit. I just don't think the money. I think there's too many variables there that I just think Edmonton won't take a peek at it. But I've been wrong before.
Well, the reason I'm intrigued at adding a shutdown lefty would be if you're in a matchup where it's physical, and you feel like maybe you don't need the puck moving of a Klingberg, you need more shutdown guys who can survive and thrive in the battle a bit more, then you move Kulak to the right side with Nurse, which they've been open to doing this year, and then you have this lefty to play with Emberson, and you have like a nice shutdown duo. I still think they need a puck mover next to Nurse, though. I understand Klingberg. The name on San Jose that we were throwing around before the show is like, and he popped up a little bit earlier this week in the trade rumor mill. If they're open to trading Jake Wallman and selling high on him, I think that's a puck mover to put next to Nurse who has some upside.
Yeah, that's a tough one too, because I just don't know if I don't think that pairing would work. Jake's very free flowing. I just don't know if those two would work together. You need like a hybrid between CC and Klingberg. That's kind of your, and then you hear a crazy trade rumor that Noah Dobson's is getting shopped around by the Islanders. I'm like, well, if I could take a swing at Noah Dobson, we're going to talk about that on the network today. Not to give you a spoiler, but apparently that came out. They're shopping him around right now, which is wild because that's a pickup that could work, but I mean, the money would need to be, you'd need a lot going out the other way. But listen, it's wild out here. I just don't know what's out there for Edmonton in the D market. Like I've been thinking, I kicked around Ristolainen a bit. That might work. Risto could work. You talk about a physical guy, but could the numbers work? It's tough. I feel like they've kind of they got 7 or 8 right now. I feel like you kind of see how this goes, because you can't. I'm not a fan of big swings at the trade deadline. I'm like, if something's going to happen, it has to happen now or right after the break, because you need to see if there's time. Because you look at like these trades right now that happen. Look at Rantanen in Carolina. Like, if I'm Carolina, it just might not be a fit. And is he going to want to sign playing that system? So it's like, but you've given yourself time because you made that trade early enough to either trade him or find a replacement. So I just think if it's Edmonton might be just happy to stay with what they have. And I think they're going to think the way they're playing, this is a deep pairing that can get them there. And I don't mind, if Klinger stays the way he's staying, but I feel they might bring in one more depth piece. I just don't know if it'll be Mario, because I just don't think the numbers work.
The New York Islanders trading Noah Dobson and potentially re-signing Brock Nelson is the most Lou Lamoriello thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That would be insane. He makes $4 million and is an RFA.
Yeah. That's where I'm like, if I heard those rumors and I'm Edmonton, I am kicking the tires, because
big time.
Ekholm, Bush, Dobson, Nursey, Kulak, Emerson. It's a cup. It's a cup.
Then you got to do it.
I just think to last year when Vegas went out and got Noah Hannafin. And I know it's a bit different, I suppose, but you're finding a cheaper deal. It makes a lot of sense for him to try and do that.
He's making how much? Four right now?
Yeah. $4 million RFA at the end of the year.
I mean, again, it's like one of those things where I'm staring at that as a GM. That's a mortgage your future a little bit to bring him in, because he is a player that you could potentially sign. And you got Bush coming up as well that you have to sign. I mean, there's a lot of things to like in that deal. So when I saw that today, because we're going to chop it up, I was like, what the frick is Lamoriello doing? But then I'm like, Edmonton, this is the one, like you said, this is like Vegas, and Vegas finds a way to do it every year. They bring in 1 million guys. They're $100 million over the cap. I'm like, Edmonton, it's right there for you. Now you got Klinger as your 7. You got Dobson, Bush, and Emberson, and Klinger for Emberson. I mean, you have 3 insane puck-moving defensemen with 3 lefties that can hold the fort down. I mean, you don't need to worry about a goaltender. You don't need to worry about anything, because that forward group is going to get the puck all night on the tape.
Yeah. That has to be it. Like, that has to be the move.
I don't know I don't think they're actually going to trade him. It would be so stupid.
But we'll remove that. If there's even whispers of that, go for it. Go for it. They got to try. They have to be the most aggressive, because if they're not, someone else will.
Vegas will.
Vegas will find a way. And that's the thing, to Liam's point. These teams that are always in the upper echelon always find a way. There's got to be a way. There's
No,
got to be a
there's
way.
there,
At
they
$4 million
have-
bucks for this year, there's a way.
Let JD talk.
no, but I love the enthusiasm because I'm on the same boat because I'm like there's a lot of teams that need a Noah Dobson. So like the market will be, you'll have to give up a lot. You look at like the Panthers. The Panthers can use a guy like him. They have Ekblad, but they're a little light on the right side. Vegas, these same teams that always win at Tampa Bay, like these teams will find a way to make it work. And Lou would be more prone to trade him out west if it's a possibility to get him out of the East. And the thing is that the reason why is like he might want an astronomical number, but you could trade that contract at the end of the year, win a cup. You could trade that contract if you want to, or you could re-sign him and you could maybe get him for less than Bush. There's a lot of ways to kind of skin that cat, and I feel like it gives a lot of options. And it also just, I mean, you're immediately have one of the best decors in the NHL on top of one of the best forward groups. I mean, it's there's not many teams that are going to be able to hang with these guys, and if you can make it work at a low cap hit and figure something out, I mean, it's not crazy to think that they could get this done, and it's worth it because it's exactly the guy they need that you said, Ty.
The time is now.
Yeah, I agree. If you could find a way to do it,
Don't be apprehensive. Lean into this, man. Don't
know.
think about
People
what
in
the Islanders are thinking. Think
people in
as an
the
Oilers
chat.
fan for 1 minute.
Yeah, people in the chat, how would we work this? Let's get on Puckpedia. Let's see what we got here. They got some trade pieces.
They
that
can
I'm
make this
sure
work.
Yes.
they could. They could. It's kind of a team that, and it's crazy because Noah probably wanted a big number, and then D'Angelo comes in and is kind of doing the same thing that Dobson was doing this year. And they're like, well, we got him at under $1 million. We could get some young guys for him. But I wonder what they want back is my question. They probably want a D-man. They probably want a couple forwards, a couple picks. Or maybe a lot of picks. But
Boakey.
yeah.
it'd be a million assets. But yes, I agree. You do it if you can do it. You 100%
gotta
They don't
try
even-
to do it, though.
Yeah.
Someone's going to do it. Someone's going to pay the price.
I'm with you.
This is like Ekholm all over again, right? In the sense of we had to get pretty creative and throw a lot at it.
Yeah.
But look at the impact. And it's in a very crucial time because it's helped open up our window. And, we talk about having to shore up our back end. We have so much firepower up front. This is the guy. This is the guy.
He's the guy. I agree. JD, how excited are you for Four Nations?
I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest with you, because, Sid the Kid not in and there's some injuries, which we all knew would happen. Obviously, Pietrangelo, sorry, I always screw up that name. Pietrangelo going out and saying he's hurt and then playing 24 minutes a night leading into the break is kind of funny and shows you where his head's at. So I just don't know how many more guys are in that headspace. Because I think, 4 teams, it's going to be a great format. I think it's going to be super exciting. I'm just really stoked. I got to interview Werenski with Unscripted the other day, and it was a great interview. And just him talking about his excitement to play with this U.S. team that they all played in the development program together. And he was just listing the names. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is going to be fun to watch these guys play together. And hoping the guys that are a little banged up can play, like Quinn Hughes. I think they're scratching it. I don't know if he's going to be healthy. It's interesting to see. I don't know if Sid's going to play, so that's going to put a damper on it. But obviously you look at Finland too. Heiskanen's out. I mean, it hurts to see these top guys go out. But I just don't want. I want this to be an exciting event, and I'm for it. I don't love the long break because it makes it condensed during the season before and after, and it always leads to some injuries. And the biggest thing is there's nothing like NHL playoff hockey, and I just don't want guys to get banged up and then it hurts teams' chances and then come playoffs. So it's hit or miss. I love watching best on best. I think it's like the coolest thing, but at the right time. So I'm hoping everybody's healthy. That's like my thing is like just everybody stay healthy. Let's roll through this and get on to the playoff run and let's make sure we have some good games where it's physical and it's guys are, but everybody stays healthy. So don't get hurt. I'm like the mom. I'm like, don't get hurt, guys. Come on, guys.
Orange
We'll
slices.
kill
at the
each
end of the
other.
game.
No, we're
We'll
thinking
kill
the
each
same thing.
other. Kill that US team. But don't get hurt.
That's fair. You going to be out there, or are you taking 2 weeks and going to Cabo?
No, Daddy's working. I'll be. I'm doing a pre-tape for Four Nations on Sunday during Super Bowl Sunday. So I'll be working, and then I'm gonna do some pre and post game during the week. So I'll be covering a couple of games
Hell yeah.
from Secaucus, New Jersey.
Are you in the dressing room right now?
Yeah, I'm getting ready. We have. I got NHL now today, so we're talking Islanders, and I'm gonna honestly go. I'm gonna go talk to the researchers to see if they can break down a possible trade for Noah Dobson.
Well, I'm more curious. I see a rack of shirts back there. Which one are you going with today?
Yeah, this is like the guys' rooms where they have the suits here and stuff. This isn't mine. Mine's in there, but like guys have all their suits. You can see, like, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And a random dress there, which is very awkward and weird. But yeah, it's like it's like shared by like 4 of the analysts, and they leave their suits here and stuff. So.
And they gave you a
Yeah,
quiet
it's
space
nice.
to do our shows. We appreciate that. Appreciate you popping on. Everybody watching the show right now, after this, go download Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the Zach Werenski interview out now. Also, you guys had Ian Happ on the other day. Like, the range of guests is hilarious.
Yeah, we're an NHL podcast that barely talks about the NHL, which is great. We break some stuff down, and then we kind of do, movie stuff. Yeah, we had Ian Happ. We're gonna have Jeremy Piven on in a couple weeks. We're gonna have Alex Goligoski on. We kind of go all over the place. So yeah, the goose is loose. But we had Swaggy P on too, which is really cool. He was talking about all of his. He talked about doing a shoot with Cole Caulfield, and then all the beer leaguers came out and were like, "Get the fuck off the ice!" And it's Cole Caulfield. So then Cole Caulfield played with them and stuff, and they loved it. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's sick. Appreciate your time as always, JD. We'll chat with you next week.
Bye, Tyler.
See you, Jason. Bye-bye. There you go. Jason Demers.
Just Tyler?
What's
yeah,
the
rest
side
of
scoop here? What's going on?
With Demers?
Yeah. Why is he doing that with you? What have you done?
I don't know. I think we get along well.
Okay. Maybe it was your lack of enthusiasm for Noah Dobson.
I don't have a lack of enthusiasm for Noah Dobson. I have a lack
You had more enthusiasm for Erik Karlsson.
I was never that big on the Carlson idea.
I don't know. Seemed pretty excited.
So I did some digging during the show.
Jason says, tell the boys bye, and I miss them.
Already.
He's such a good dude.
He's the best.
He's the best. What's that Islanders reporter's name? Ian.
The Islanders reporter who put it out there. Here's the other thing, too, and this is how Frank threw cold water on it. There are no leaks in Long Island. Lou lets nothing out. He's got the secure phone line.
Well, maybe this just shows you that Lou's on the way out.
Maybe.
Maybe he is. There was, in this article I was reading, it said they were interested in Elias Pettersson.
Oh, so maybe they're offloading Dobson to get assets to Chase Pettersson.
Yeah, and just looking at the potential trade comparables, I guess I don't think any of them are high enough for him. But obviously Noah Hannafin is similar, I suppose. He's a little bit older when he was traded than what Noah Dobson is now. That was that depth defenseman, Daniil, what's his name?
Miramonov, yeah.
Conditional first, which was just flipping either this year or next year, whichever one kind of works for them, and a third, and then they had 75% retained. And then the one before that, too, was, and again, lower value. Hronek was 25 when Detroit traded him, and he cost the Vancouver Canucks a first and a second. With no cap retention, he was $4.5 million.
Okay.
Obviously not as offensively talented.
So then the deal is just based on those comps. It's next year's first. Mm-hmm. It's Bo Akey and it's Sam O'Reilly. That's your first. That's your second equivalent. And then you got to throw in another first equivalent, O'Reilly, because it's the better player. And you can take the money on full board. You have the space for it. 3 premium assets for one player. I think if the Islanders are doing it, they're punting into a rebuild. They're not doing it to try to get pieces for now. So
I don't know if you'd have to give up both of those guys, but I think definitely one of them. And then you give up.
But would you
a couple
do it
more.
if you have to give up both?
Honestly, I think he's more of a rental than anything.
and you're flipping him at the draft.
I just don't know if you can afford to sign him, but so then maybe you can just try and get those assets back again, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's a unique situation because you can flip them again, or we have such an amazing playoff run, and he stands
Maybe
out.
he stays.
That you have a weird decision to make, but
Or you find a way to bring him back, and like, hey, if you can get Bouchard for cheaper than you think, the idea of giving Bouch 9, giving Dobson 8.5, you have
having Nurse.
You have a very expensive blue line at that point.
But
you would have to make some choices up front, but like we found, so like
you actually wouldn't.
Well, so we found a way to make Pionk work at 6, and your cap
Rantanen work at 12.
Yeah, but that was a bit more of a stretch. But let me finish the thought here. We found a way to make Pionk work at 6 by just trading Kane. So if you can offload Kane and you can offload Arvidsson this summer, that's why I think it's imperative that if you're going to do this, you got to find a way to keep Savoy because you need the cheap top 6 guy for next year.
Agreed.
So if we found a way to make make Pionk worth at 6 with Arvidsson on the roster, and you just dump Arvidsson, now you have the space to make Dobson work at close to 10. Like that's not a crazy idea here.
all of a sudden now we're a team where the blue line is our strength.
Yeah, and you're sitting there going, maybe you lose a bit of depth up front, but like, who cares?
You got Connor and Leon.
You
just got to find those $2 million guys.
And to put around them, that can
make it work. Like you found, I know Puck Colson's not exactly a goal scoring threat, but he makes $1 billion and is an effective player. Kapanen's another guy like that.
So you get Emberson done with a bit of term, call it 3 or 4 years at $2 million. You have Dobson and Bouchard locked up, and you have this unbelievable right side of 24 to 26-year-olds, and they're locked up for the next 3 years with cap certainty as the cap skyrockets.
And like I said, this is our window, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to have that runway to chase multiple cups, that is what you do. We need to start doing these things.
And also too, like, if people don't see that as a realistic thing, the Vegas Golden Knights basically do it right now already.
Theodore Pietrangelo, Hannafin.
They also have White Cloud on a solid deal. Like McNabb and Haig are both really good players as well. Like they've sorted out. Have they struggled offensively at points this season? 100%. But they also don't have McDavid and Draisaitl.
Exactly. Bang on, Lehman.
Thank you.
All right, we got a couple more things to get to before we wrap up the show. First off, a little what's trending for our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Hockey fans helping hockey fans with motorcycles, quads, e-bikes, and boats. They do it all. Their service department, top-notch, because what else would you expect from the folks at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine? Sidney Crosby in the Four Nations. He did not practice, has not been officially ruled out. That would put a big damper on things if he doesn't play.
Yeah, it would really change my mood on it, I guess. I don't really have a full mood on it, but my mood is to
Crosby
see.
Crosby is one of the few things that gets you amped up.
Yeah, like passing of the torch, I guess you could say. Well, hopefully we could see it the year after at the Olympics. But I think to ask Crosby to play at this level again isn't even like a crazy thing to think. He's still an unbelievable player.
He's going to be like Bergeron and just retire
keep going
on top when he ever decides to retire.
Those plays are amazing. Like, just to be able to do it, because and I know it's a very different sport. Like football, we just saw Peyton Manning just fade away. Like, he was just bad that last season. I know they won a Super Bowl, but he was really bad. Like,
they won in spite of him in a weird way.
Yeah, the defense was so good. But like in hockey, you're right. Like guys like Bergeron, even like Ovechkin right now, he's 16 goals away from breaking the record, and still playing so well. It's amazing.
Ovi is scoring at a pace of 0.68 goals per game. If he scores at a pace of 0.61 goals per game from now to the end of the year, he will break the record in their final home regular season game.
Awesome.
Third last game of the season.
I hope he does it at home.
Me too. I want it to be at home. I think that'd be really, really cool. Imagine what ticket prices would be for that game in Washington if he's like tied with Gretzky going into it.
Who do they play that game?
Columbus. There's our goal tracker. Shout out to Daily Faceoff.
Like, it's happening this year, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I hope so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, because how many goals do you have to... You have to score 40 goals or something this year to do this?
What
was the
like 38 or something like that, wasn't it?
So he's 16.
It was 40.
He's 16 away, and right now he is at 26. So yeah, he needs a 42-goal season to beat it, and he got hurt.
Insane.
Yeah,
he got
hurt,
injured. And he got hurt, and he's 400 years old because you really got to check his birth certificate. There's a real one.
Bet365, Alex Ovechkin to break the record in the regular season this year, plus 160. Yes.
I wonder what it was at the beginning of the season.
I think it was closer to plus 400.
Wow. Like, it's astonishing. And
him.
also, keep your eye out for the Ovi last goal.
And you know what, too? On top of Ovechkin doing what he's been able to do, he's also now doing it without Backstrom, who's been the guy like alongside him, and guys like Cousins, not Cousins, what's his name? Dylan Strome have stepped up. Like, that Washington team, quietly unbelievable.
The team around him is so... Because Ovechkin's still playing like 17, 18 minutes a night.
17 minutes a night, yeah.
Might put together 100 total strides in those 18 minutes. It's like quite impressive.
I think the stat that showed me the way he's playing right now is that he has not drawn one penalty all season.
Yeah.
Which I think is very funny.
Yeah, that means he's not carrying the puck.
Never carrying the puck. He's just
Watching him in
shooting.
Edmonton was hilarious. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Didn't really notice him that much. Yeah.
Just quickly on the betting front, for him to do it against the Blue Jackets is plus 400. They play the Blue Jackets 2 of their final 4 games.
Are they the favorite? Or is Pittsburgh
Yeah, they're the favorite. Pittsburgh is third on the list, plus 700. That's who they end the regular season
Jeez,
against.
good on Bet365 for creating all these markets for it.
All right, let's keep the Bet365 talk going. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app. Use the promo code NATION when you sign up to get in on a huge range of markets. Edmonton, Colorado tonight. Edmonton comes in minus 185 favorites, plus 130 on the puck line. Not a ton of value here as the Oilers take on the Avs, but that makes sense. Edmonton's won back-to-back. They've been a very good home team this year at 18-9-2. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. That brings us to the Bet365 Gameday Betting Challenge, gentlemen. We're all coming off losses.
Yeah, we were close.
Yeah, I was close. Needed a little bit more
I
from
was
Connor.
not close.
You got the Teravainen goal, though.
But that's
Inevitable.
I should have just went all in on that.
You
All
should-
like
you
him
really
2
should've.
points and a goal.
Yeah.
So I'm back in the minuses. Very sad.
some work to do.
Jay needs some big swings here to land. Needs a couple of grand slams. Liam comfortably in first. Here is my play for tonight. A little same gamer from Bet365. Skinner 3 shots. Bouchard 3 shots.
That's your new brand.
That's my new brand, a little shot prop parlay. I like it. Skinner hit this obviously last game with exactly 3 shots. Has hit this in 3 of his last 4. Evan Bouchard, after just being on an absolute heater there for a while, he went 6-8-6 and then went 3 against Chicago, but I like him to hit 3 once again here. He's on a 4-game run, plus 450. That's good value, boys. That's good value.
That
That's
good.
very good value.
BM likes the Draisaitl instead of Bouchard with Skinner as well, doesn't he?
I don't
I
hate
think that's only like 200 though, so this is better value. But
What do you like?
what do I got?
What do you have?
Arvidsson, 1 point, plus 128. I will be saying I'm hosting pre and post game tonight. On Boardsy's bankroll, I will be looking to attach that to a Jeff Skinner point as well and see what we can get it up to. But he just wasn't available yet. But Arvidsson, 1 point. Next to McDavid, I think that's pretty solid.
Plus 128.
Considering that Zach Hyman is minus 175.
Yeah.
So
Jay, what do you got?
Well, it would be off brand if I didn't have Natchez over 1 point. But as I said, Klingberg is on a good trajectory. He gets one through tonight, plus 1,400.
And Nate just gets an or gets
do you know
8
what?
points.
Like, I don't hate this one.
It's not.
It's
I do.
not crazy.
It's hilariously juicy.
Yeah.
Because Klingberg on his own is plus 900 to score. And Natchez is averaging over a point a game to juice that up to plus 1,400.
So John Klingberg, in his 4 games for the Oilers, has 3 shots on goal.
Yep.
He just needs 1 to get through, all the way through. Yeah.
Maybe tonight's 2 shots on goal.
Plus 3 last game against Chicago. Pretty impressive.
It's like we gotta believe in this guy. I'm trying to manifest him
hey.
into being part of the solution.
I like him. I like what he's doing here. And I like his attitude going into this 2-week break. They said he's not going anywhere. He's going to be here in Edmonton, just skating.
Him and Ekholm.
And I think it's actually it'll be good for him to have that 2 week of like, hey, you've had 5 games now. We can really put a sample size of like what you really need to work on. Now you have 2 weeks straight. Because can everyone skate with the team? Like, is that still a thing? Or is it like mandatory days off? Like, is it just like individual
You can have
skates?
a
You know what I mean?
captain skate or whatever. You can call it something different. in skate.
Conditioning, I guess, maybe. But
I bet you we'll see some ODR picks. Hopefully the weather holds up. And I want to shout out our fellow Swede, Matthias Ekholm, in terms of just the solid Edmontonian he is.
I've heard amazing stories about him.
He puts together in the community he lives in a Sunday skate.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
For the kids, for the community, every Sunday at the outdoor rink near his house. And if he's in town, he plays. And if he's not, the skate goes on. His kids participate in it. Mm-hmm. Good Edmonton guy. So I can see Klingberg making an appearance.
that'd be nice.
Stay tuned to Instagram.
The minor hockey team his son plays for too. When Ekholm is in town, he will go skate with the team, the kids, and like it's a very smaller community, I guess, of players, and they don't get a lot, so he gets out and makes time for them, which is just pretty amazing.
Great.
That's just Good stewardship.
Good guy, yeah.
One more super chat to get to. Gaz Gazerson is in. $15 to the Ben Stelter Foundation. If you can get Dobbs in tomorrow, you do it. Short of including Savoy, maybe you do. He's only 25. Yeah. If there is any package that doesn't involve Matt Savoy, I'm so all in on that.
I don't think you would. I really don't. Like
teams usually never have to give up their top prospects.
Never. Like if you go back and look, like it rarely happens. Like I think a great example and a little bit different is when Timo Meier was traded from San Jose to New Jersey. Yes, they traded what's his name, Mukhamadullin.
Yeah, Shakir Mukhamadullin. But he was their third best defensive prospect because they had Luke Hughes and Simon Nemec. They didn't have to give up either of those top guys. Sam O'Reilly is the second best forward prospect. The Timo Meier trade comp is actually probably a really good one.
Yeah, so I have that right here. Give me 2 seconds. There was so many players in that.
Mukhamadullin would be like a Sam O'Reilly or a Bo Akey.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was complicated because there was a bunch of stuff that had to go back to make like the contract situation work. So it was Mukhamadullin, Nikita Oyachuk, Fabian Zetterlund, Andreas Janssen, cap dump, a first, a second, and a seventh. So,
and then New Jersey basically gave up 4 AHL players and a 5th round pick. And they got 50% retained on a $6 million contract.
Yeah. So if you don't need the money to be retained, again, is Akey or Mukhamadullin, you have to throw in the first. O'Reilly in there as well. Maybe offsets for the Zetterlund thing.
Your low-end prospect is maybe... one of those Russian players, something like that. Russian prospects.
It's interesting.
Petrov, someone like that.
Yeah. All right, boys. Let's wrap up the show with our keys to victory for our friends at Oodle Noodle. Hey, another way for you to win your way into the Nation Vacation. And just like the Sherwood Ford Nation Valet promotion, this is a win-win-win because just by walking into any Oodle Noodle in Edmonton, you can enter into the contest. No purchase necessary. Your chance to come on the Nation Vacation with us all the way down to Vegas. Flights, hotel accommodations, it's all included in your trip. Walk into a Oodle Noodle, you get 1 entry. Order delicious noodles, you get a second entry with a purchase. And if you make that order Tokyo Glaze, 10% of the proceeds are going, or 10% of the purchase is going to go to Sports Central, one of the great charity initiatives that you guys are always doing.
Sports Central is an amazing program helping kids get into sports with equipment. So we're super happy to be partnering up with them. And we're super happy to be giving away a trip to Vegas on the Nation Vacation is all part of this. So come check it out.
Yeah. Shout out to Oodle Noodle. Keys to victory tonight, boys. I'm going to say the big guns need to be engaged. Connor McDavid did not have a good game against Chicago. I'd say he didn't really have all that great of a road trip there.
He's sick.
Yeah, I know, but
he's sick.
Get up for it tonight. Come on. It's a game against the Avs. You got a dollar in.
It's
so
him and Nate, dog.
Yep. Connor, be better than Nate. That's my key to victory.
These games are always exciting. For me, the key to victory is goaltending on both sides. You need Skinner to show up against Colorado and another top team. And the others need to take advantage that Mackenzie Blackwood is playing back-to-back nights, potentially.
Good point.
So that's my key to victory is goaltending both ways.
Yeah, just I think if we can just shut down that first line, then it's pretty smooth sailing for us the rest of the night. McKinnon is a factor. I think McDavid always is going to try to show up against that because McKinnon's going to try and show McDavid. So shut down that main line, and it should be smooth sailing.
And you know what, too? They don't want to hear about it for the next 2 weeks in Canada camp. You want that edge over them.
You want the bragging rights.
We came from behind 3-0 to beat you, and then we just beat you again to end the break, going into the break.
I like that. Could be a preview of a round 1 playoff matchup tonight as well. Should be a good one downtown Edmonton. Liam's got pre-gaming tonight at 6 o'clock. That'll be fun.
Me and Coom. It'll be exciting. I think Aaron said he might pop in for post-game, depending.
Depending. I was going to say, he's on a bachelor party at the Waste Management Open.
He's at the Waste Management Open?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not bad, eh?
You should see the house he has down there, too. The Airbnb him and his buddies got. It's got a putting green, a basketball court.
A few of my friends went last year, and they got on the, was it the 8th? It would have been the 18th, I guess, when Nick Taylor put in his final putt to win. So that was pretty
crazy.
Cool. Good video.
Before we wrap up, let's get to some game notes for our friends at Sherwood Ford, the Giant. What did they have in store? Saving the best for last.
The Avs might have swept the Oilers 2 years ago in the playoffs, but the Oilers are 3-1 against them in the last 4 games played.
Evan Bouchard's been playing the Avalanche like a fiddle lately. 7 points in 5 games, and he's basically delivered the game-winning goal on a silver platter in back-to-back games. Let's go Oilers!
Zach Hyman, not just scoring goals, but clutch goals. Fresh off a game winner against Chicago, 6 of his 19 this season have sealed the deal for Edmonton.
Amazing.
Love it. Short Ford Giant Game Day.
I went to Short Ford today to pick up Tyler's jacket.
Thank you.
And I was like, yeah, Mike left a jacket. We left a jacket. Mike put it away. They're like, which one? What's his last name? And I'm like, Giant Mike. I thought, oh, whatever his name is. Like that. Yep, I got it. They found it for you.
There you go.
he's well known.
Also, I just remembered that we didn't do our giveaway for our friends at the Sports Closet. We got a $50 GC.
Let's go.
Let's go. We're going to do it kind of the way we always do. In the comments, the first 5 people to give us a unique player that played for both the Avs and the Oilers. So the first 5 unique answers in the chat, you're going to get yourself entered into a draw, and I'll get the prize wheel nice and fired up here for everybody, and we'll give away $50 to our friends at the Sports Closet. If you're Philly or KC fan, maybe you'll go get some last-minute Super Bowl gear.
I can't believe Frank's going to the Super Bowl.
That is crazy.
That is amazing. How are his seats, do you know?
I don't know how his seats are, but he hasn't told his son yet. He's surprising him with it.
Oh, hopefully he's not watching.
Well, he is an Oilers fan.
Yeah,
he?
that's fair.
Oh, boy.
I don't think Torres did. Mike D's got a good one
Oh, that's a good one.
with
Mine goes a little
Cogliano.
deeper.
Torres never played for the Avs. No.
I'm
Did
saying
Yari
Jan.
Curry play for the Avs?
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Jan Hayda did.
Okay, so Podkolzin gets entered in. Dubnik, that's a good one, friend of the show. Where else are we going to go? Mistaken Mexican with the old Ryan Smith answer.
Gotta
That's
be a
good.
Quebec
yeah.
Nordique that I'm trying to think of that I can't think of.
All right, we got our 5. It's Mike D, Vasily Podkolzin, Devin Dubnik.
What about Greg DeVries?
Oh, who was the one that answered Ryan Smith?
Oh,
that
how
was
is
mistaken.
Nail Yakupov not thrown into this?
Gotta get Yak in
Big
there.
one.
Okay, mistaken Mexican, Justin Candelaria. Who said Dubnik? Man, Rico. Rico said Dubnik.
Ricola.
Okay, here's the spin.
Come
Come on, who's gonna win $50 to our friends at the Sports Closet? Oh, it's all Mike D. You're our winner, Mike D.
Way to
Email
go.
me Tyler@Oilersnation.com. Look, here's the proof. If no one doesn't believe me, Mike D won. Mike D, congrats.
Wow.
Email
Why
me
do you have-
Tyler@Oilersnation.com. Say I'm Mike D. I won the gift card. I'll get you hooked up with our friends at the Sports Closet.
A lot of wheels open there, Tyler.
Tyler.
Interesting.
I'm Mike D.
No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
You would have. You never have your phone or anything on during the show, so it couldn't have been you.
I have tried to get out of that habit too.
I've got a bot.
Yeah.
His name is Mike D.
Mike D.
Pre-script
He's
my
muling.
comments.
He's muling you Sports Closet gift cards.
Everyone's got to have good mules.
New episode of Oilers Nation Radio going to drop later on this afternoon. Then, as I said, Liam's live pre-gaming tonight, 6 o'clock, post-game immediately following the final buzzer. And hopefully when that final buzzer sounds, it is a win for the Edmonton Oilers. Everybody in the YouTube, you were great. Liam's going to be in the big chair on Monday as I am out in Montreal.
Yeah.
We'll make it all work. We'll make it work next week. But we're going to be doing shows, probably not the full hour, but some sort of a show next week, every single day for you. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube so you don't miss it. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll chat with you on Monday. Oil up.
No.